What's up everybody, it's Paul from Boosted Films, and in this video we're going to change the engine air filter and cabin air filter on this 2014 Toyota Tundra. This one has the 5.7 liter V8, and the good news is this process was very similar for a lot of years. As long as you have that 5.7 liter V8 version, this should work very similar whether or not your Toyota Tundra is a 2014 all the way up to about 2021. So we're going to start with changing the cabin air filter, and this is the typical behind the glove box cabin air filter setup that we're going to get to, but of course we're going to show you all the details here. First step is opening up your passenger side door. It's good practice just to move your seat back, give you a little extra room. Of course, remove anything that's in your glove box, just get it out of the way. And speaking of that, there is actually typically a little tray in these. You may or may not still have it, but usually there could be this kind of little extra plastic piece in the way of this door that we need to remove. There could be a different tray in there you need to remove. This truck didn't have it, and there's a good chance yours might already have not been put back in place either. But just be warned that there might also be a little piece here you need to remove as well. But of course, you can see this has directions on it. It says slide up and remove. So that's what we're going to do. It is nice that we don't have to actually remove the full glove box for this one. It's actually just this little door that we slide up and pull out of the way, which then reveals the cabin air filter cover itself. So you can squeeze on either side like I'm doing here. Well, you have to squeeze on both sides actually, but you should be able to squeeze in on those parts and then pull off the cover. Note that the cover does say up on it. That is not necessarily a reflection of airflow direction. I know it's a little bit confusing, but the cover has its own up direction, whereas you can see the airflow is pointed down on the cabin air filter, and that is correct. That's the way this setup is. Airflow is down. The cover has it designated up, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. This one was a pretty tight fit, so we pulled out our old cabin air filter. I used a screwdriver just to give me a little extra grip on it, but then once it was free enough, I could just pull out this old cabin air filter with my hands. Pretty clean. It's a little bit dirty, but you can see it's also a little bit of a tight fit in there with this one. And always a good practice to compare the old with the new, and especially in this case, because I went to an auto parts store that I shall not name, and this is the one they gave me that said that would fit in this vehicle. Well, I'm glad I didn't unwrap it before I checked the size of it, because while it looks like a similar width and everything, you can see here it's definitely not the same size. It's a bit longer, and it will not work. It would not fit in there to be able to get the cover back on. So we're not actually changing the one in this video, but hopefully you got one that fits correctly. Obviously this Denso part number here might work for you. This is what I had to do. I just kind of cleaned this one a little bit and reinstalled it for now, just so I could make this video showing you guys how to change the cabin air filter. Install your new cabin air filter with the airflow direction arrow pointing down. It should just slide in. If you're able to, that might be why this one's so tight. If you lift it up a little bit, that's going to help you get this cover back in place. Because as we look at the back side of this cover, you can see there's these little two prongs kind of sticking out. Those help hold the filter kind of up in place. You could even see where the filter we took out was a little indented from those. So if you are able to lift up your filter when it's in place a little bit, that should make it easier to snap this cover on. But it should just literally snap on like that. You just push it on, it should snap in place. And now this next little cover we'll put in, we need to pay attention to this part on this left side here. That's the first part you're going to want to put in. So you're going to want to tip it in and put that left side in place first, because it's going to have to slide behind the other plastic in there a little bit. And then after that, you should be able to just slide it down and hear it snap in. And there you go. You're pretty much done. Again, if you had that other little tray in there, you put that back in. Close it up, make sure your glove box still opens and closes like it should, and you should pretty much be all set with your cabin air filter. Now we're going to move on to the engine air filter, and to change the engine air filter, first thing we need to do is pop our hood. So we're going to open up our driver's side door, find our hood latch release lever. Of course, go ahead and give that a pull, and you should hear your hood open. Next, we got to release the latch, holding it down. And to get that, you should be able to slide your hand in just above that Toyota symbol and then lift up and to the left, at least as you're viewing it on this screen. And that should release that hood latch so you can lift your hood up all the way. Now you can see on the left side of the screen here, this is our airbox. It kind of splits into two, an upper and a lower half, and there are just kind of two main clips we need to remove to get it out of the way. So those clips are here. You just lift up on that bottom part of the clip, and that releases it from the top, and then you slide that top portion over so you can, lift up the top part of the airbox here. And then once you lift up, you're gonna, in this case, I'm gonna pull it towards me, but you're gonna pull it out of these slots you can kind of see towards the back. There's some slots that it slides into, so you just gotta pull it out of there, and you should be able to lift it up enough to get your old engine air filter out. And again, good practice, as we just saw. Compare your old to the new. Make sure you're not fighting any uphill battles when they gave you the wrong part or anything. Luckily, in this case, this was the right filter, so we got our new engine air filter we're going to install here. And again, simple process. You just lift up the cover with enough room to slide in your new engine air filter. I will also say you want to double check, take a look in the bottom part of that airbox. Make sure there's no larger debris in there either. If there is, just kind of pull it out and get it out of there. And again, watch for these slots towards the back part of the airbox, or towards more the inner part of the car. You can see there is one on each side. I'm going to move the camera here to this second one. That's a little bit harder to see. But once we move this wire out of the way, you can see where that slides in. So just double check those. Make sure you have both of those slid in like that before you go to re-latch these pieces here. But you might have to push down a little bit just to make it clear. Push that top part of the airbox down to the bottom, and then you should be able to just reattach or retighten those levers, or whatever you call them, and those clamps, and it'll clamp it back down. And there you go. You have successfully changed your engine air filter. Make sure everything looks right and looks like it should. You should be able to close your hood. Make sure it closes all the way. And there you go. You should be all set. And that's about it. Again, I'm just a guy on YouTube who likes to document what he does. So if you think I did anything wrong, or you know a better way of doing it, or maybe if you got some tips for removing that tray that I didn't have to see in this video, if you want to leave a comment, let me know. I'd like the community of people that watch my videos to help each other out. So leave a comment with maybe what helped you or what I could have did differently. Otherwise, in general, I don't care too much what filter you buy. I just recommend you change them on a regular basis when they're dirty. But there you go, everybody. I hope you found this video helpful. And as always, this is Paul from Boosted Films saying thanks so much for watching. I just want to say that domestic violence is never okay. If you or someone you know is experiencing issues with a partner and doesn't feel safe, please visit the website thehotline.org or call 1-800-799-SAFE.